Good morning. I'm going to introduce Commissioner Presley to introduce our pastor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is this on? All right. Joining us by phone this morning is Reverend Joseph Stone. He is a graduate of Rush College up in Marshall County, where he received his bachelor's degree in English. He also holds a master's degree in education leadership and an education specialist degree in administration from Mississippi State. He is a member of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. Reverend and Mrs. Stone and their 6 children reside in Starkville and Oktibbeha Hall County. So, Reverend Stone, we'll turn it over to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you all for having me. Good morning to everyone. Let us bow for a word of prayer. Dear Father in heaven, we first of all come to say thank you for a day that we've never seen before. Your word declares that this is the day that you have made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, we give you honor, glory, and praise for your amazing grace. We now pray, Lord God, that you will be with these commissioners. Pray that you will grant them the wisdom to make the decisions necessary to make our state even better than what it is right now. Give them the knowledge and the understanding as they go into convene conferences and to make decisions, oh God, that will be best for the people of this state. And Lord, we thank you in advance because we know that you're going to use them to make those decisions that will make our state better. So now we just thank you in advance. We give you glory, honor, and praise. In your son, Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend Stone.
Thank you. Please follow me as we pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, and justice for all. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Next, we're going to move on to the energy agenda. Number 1, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2006 UN 511, Mississippi Power Company, notice of intent of MPCO to amend its property damage reserves and to change rates by establishing a system of restoration rider. Mr. Mabry.
Thank you, Commissioners. Mr. Chairman, on October 25th, Mississippi Power Company filed a notice of intent to amend the company's System Restoration Rider, or SRR, and its notice of intent to change rates in connection with the rendition of electrical service to its customers. MPC's annual SRR funds the company's property damage reserve, which serves to protect ratepayers and the company from the rate and financial volatility that might result from uninsured property losses such as those sustained in hurricanes or tornadoes. Since January 2020, MPC has either experienced or been in the projected path of major weather events on average every 6 weeks. The company began 2020 with a reserve balance of approximately $54 million. As a result of weather events in 2020 and 2021, the reserve was depleted to a negative balance of approximately $16.4 million as recently as September 30th. The first step in addressing this was accomplished with the Commission Order in Docket 2021 UA 150, approved on October 14th. This accounting order allowed the company to move the restoration costs for Hurricane Zeta, approximately $38 million, and Hurricane Ida, approximately $11 million, to a regulatory asset to be recovered in the company's Performance Evaluation Plan 2021 review filing. This replenished the reserve amount to approximately $33 million. After discussions with both staff and commission, the company determined a more robust reserve is needed. This filing sets a minimum balance to the reserve in the amount of $75 million. The filing also requests an increase in rates sufficient to establish an annual accrual of approximately $8 million until the target balance is met. A residential customer with a monthly usage of 1,000 kilowatt hours will experience an increase in billing of 96 cents per month until the $75 million target balance is met. This billing will begin on January 1st, 2020. To manage this change going forward, the company is proposing changes to the SRR rate schedule. MPC proposes to create a band of 10% above and below the $75 million minimum reserve balance as the threshold for adjusting the annual accrual. In any year, the reserve balance is projected to be above the 10% upper limit. The annual accrual will be adjusted to be equal to the projected charges to the reserve. In any year, the reserve balance is projected to be below the 10% limit, the company may request an increase in the SRR factor. The $8 million accrual is sufficient absent any major events in the company's service territory. There will likely be major events, therefore the company has presented additional methods of funding the reserve. One option that is included in this current filing would be to utilize revenues from PEP that exceed the range of no change as defined in the PEP tariff. These funds are currently returned to customers either through bill credits or offsets to future rate changes. The current filing looks to apply those funds as a positive addition to the reserve balance. The other proposed method includes increasing the annual accrual by the amount of regulatory asset amortization within SRR upon completion of the amortization period. This option is not being proposed in the current filing. The company will continue to research methods of funding the reserve to present to the staff and commission in the future. The staff has finished its investigation into the filing and recommends approval.
Okay, do I have any questions?
I move we approve as presented.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Move on to number 2, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order and docket number 2021 UA 166. Entergy Mississippi order approving second amendment to agreement for service. Mr. Mabry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On October 13th, Energy Mississippi filed an application for approval of a second amendment to agreement for electrical service to serve Nissan North America Incorporated. The purpose of the second amendment to agreement is to revise certain terms and conditions of the agreement for electrical service so that the Nissan manufacturing facility continues to provide economic and operational benefits as contemplated in the agreement and is the result of confidential negotiations and discussions between Energy Mississippi and Nissan. Staff has completed its review of the filing and recommends approval of the second amendment to the agreement.
Any questions?
I have one, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Mr. Mabry, there are several tenets in the law and in commission practice, and I know these have been answered, but I think it's healthy to get this on the record, related to economic performance, contribution to margin, those sort of things. And I know the staff's reviewed it, but I think it'd be good for the record. We deal with these special contracts only so often. Has the staff reviewed all of those tenets that are required within the law and required within the commission orders to be met for a special contract, and is this contract in compliance with that?
Yes, Commissioner, it is. And specifically, this was only addressing an extension, so it's minimal.
Right. Thank you so much. I move we approve.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Now we're going to go to the telecommunications agenda. It's number 1, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order and docket number 2021 UA072, Envoy LLC joint petition for the transfer of indirect control of Broadbox and CLEC LLC, ANPI Business LLC, Neutral Tandem Mississippi LLC, and Envoy LLC to Cinch U.S. Holdings Incorporated. Ms. Denmark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It sure is a mouthful, isn't it?
It is.
So all 4 of these companies collectively are known as Envoy Holdings. This petition was filed on May 3rd, 2021 by Envoy Holdings and Cinch U.S. Holding. The proposed transaction allows Cinch to acquire all shares of common stock in Envoy Holdings. All transferees will remain indirect subsidiaries of Envoy, so the transaction's an indirect transfer of control. All 4 companies are authorized to provide telecommunications services here in Mississippi. The proposed transaction does not result in any assignment of certificates, licenses, assets, or customers. It'll be seamless and transparent to the customers and will not result in any changes to rates or services. The transaction also will not result in the change of management or other personnel. This petition was filed with the FCC in docket WC 21-131 on April 1st, 2021, and it was subject to non-streamline review. But the petition was approved on November 29th, 2021. Staff's reviewed the petition. I've spoken with counsel for the companies, and we find the petition in order, and we recommend approval.
Okay. Any questions?
None, I make a motion we approve as presented.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. So number 2, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2021 UA 152, Combined Public Communications LLC, joint application for authority to transfer indirect control of Combined Public Communications LLC licensee. Ms. Denmark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On September 16th, CPC Ingle Holdings filed a petition for authority to transfer control of Combined Public Communications to the Combined Public Communications ESOP Trust. CPC partners with corrections professionals to provide reliable and cost-effective inmate calling solutions and other technologies, as well as certain non-communication services like commissary services. CPC is authorized to operate as a reseller of intrastate telecommunication services here in Mississippi. Following the transaction, CPC Holding will be directly and wholly owned by the CPC ESOP Trust, so it's subject to ERISA and other federal regulations. The change in ultimate control occurs at the parent level and will not involve the assignment of any authorities or assets or customers or any changes to rates or services. The petition was filed with the FCC and accepted for streamline review. The public notice was published back in October, and the petition was granted by the FCC on October 25th, 2021. Staff's reviewed the petition and finds it in order, and we recommend approval.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I got one question, Mr. Chairman.
Oh,
Ms. Denmark, I realize the FCC's approved this, and I assume that they review, there's been a lot of chatters, I know you're very well versed on, about the price that's charged to the families of people who are in correction facilities. It's not punishing the person there, but the mamas and daddies and grandkids and anything else talking. Does the FCC review these transactions for compliance with their directives that Chairman Pye put out last year related to some people are paying $5 and $10 a minute to talk to somebody on the phone. That doesn't hurt the person in jail, it just hurts their mother and them. And the FCC had spoken on that. Is that something that they review prior to that? Before we have very few bites at the apple on these issues, is the reason I'm bringing that up.
I'm not sure if that particular topic was approached by the Wireless Competition Bureau in the review of this petition. I think that they have to look at the rules in Section 214 for transfers of controls and licenses. So
Gotcha.
Since they said that there are no changes to the rates or terms or conditions, then
But they claim they provide affordable service, and somebody could argue whether that's affordable or not. So I don't. If you would, just as a follow-up, check with them on that and let us know back. I move we approve the transfer.
yes, sir.
Second.
all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Then we're going to move on to the water and sewer agenda. Mr. Hammond, we're taking these two up together, 2 and 3?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we have one before that, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I got this. All right, this number 1, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2021 UA 137, South Central Water Association Incorporated order granting supplemental certificate of public convenience and necessity. Ms. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Commissioners. The order before the Commission conditionally grants the petition filed by South Central Water Association on August 11th, 2021. I'm going to refer to them as SCWA. In the petition, SCWA seeks a supplemental certificate of public convenience and necessity to construct, maintain, and operate a water system within a specified area of Hinds County. The area is comprised approximately of about 7.5 square acres. The proposed certificated area is a part of John Bell Williams Airport. The airport's owned and operated by Hinds Community College. The Commission granted SCWA an initial CPCN for water service in docket number 1986 UA 4827 and has issued to SCWA several supplemental certificates in subsequent dockets. Granting the petition in this docket will allow SCWA to extend its water service area into an area of future construction at the airport with the potential to add 10 additional commercial customers in the foreseeable future. The construction cost for the project is approximately $239,819, which Hines Community College has agreed to pay for in its entirety. The commission has jurisdiction to decide the matter. Due and proper notice of the pendency of the proceeding has been given. There are no interveners in the docket. SCWA is ready, willing, fit, and able to construct, operate, and maintain the water system in the additional area requested. SCWA has demonstrated the public convenience and necessity of the expansion of its water service into the additional area requested to be certificated in this docket. On the advice of the Mississippi Public Utility staff and after its own review of the docket, the legal staff recommends that the commission conditionally grant to SCWA a supplemental CPCN for the area fully described in Exhibit A of the order. The order requires SCWA to substantially commence construction of its facilities within the newly certificated area on or before November 1st, 2025, and to file a construction progress report with the commission by the same date or risk forfeiture or cancellation of the supplemental certificate. And I asked a little bit about why that was placed on this because it's kind of unusual. And the reason given was that this is a large area, and if the construction project doesn't go through, there are other developers and things that will come into that area where other utilities might be better able to serve it. So that's why we're putting the time-sensitive, condition on it.
Okay, any questions?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, taking 2 and 3 together, starting with the discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order and docket numbers 2021 UA 157 and 2021 UA 158, Great River Operating Company, orders approving sale and transfer. Mr. Hammonds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before you are 2 orders approving the sale and transfer of 26 wastewater systems and 1 water system to Great River Utility Operating Company. The systems being sold and certificates being transferred to GRU are the Wilco properties, which makes up 22 of the 26. One of those is the water utility, the other 21 are sewer systems. The Woodall Management, Inc. in Tishomingo County, Bay Door Partners in Lee County, Montgomery Quarters in Oktibbeha County, Starling Construction Company in Lee County, and Western Properties in Lamar County. Great River holds a certificate of public convenience and necessity issued in docket numbers 2020 UA 143 and 144. On September 27, 2021, Great River filed its petition, pre-filed testimony, exhibits, and schedules. GRU served notice of the petition on all interested persons. Notices was provided by publication in newspapers of general circulation in the impacted counties. Great River noticed all impacted customers via mail of the petition. No parties have requested or been granted intervention in these dockets or objected to or contested the petitions in these dockets. As I mentioned, GRU seeks to acquire a total of 26 wastewater systems and 1 water system. Combined, the wastewater systems are estimated to serve roughly 2,700 customer connections. Water system is estimated to serve roughly 300 customer connections. Great River has requested adoption of the current rates, charges, tariffs approved for each system to govern operation and services to customer post-acquisition. 1 wastewater system, the Avalon system in Lowndes County, does not have rates approved by the commission. Wastewater order before you directs GRU to file for an area certificate for the Avalon system, as well as to file a notice of intent to establish initial rates in separate dockets. The petition and accompanying testimony exhibits demonstrate that the transaction proposed are in good faith and in the public interest, and that GRU is fit and able to properly perform public utility services authorized by such certificate and to comply with the lawful rules, regulations, and requirements of this commission. The orders before you approve the sale and transfer of all of the water and wastewater systems identified in Exhibit A attached to these orders, and any and all assets of such systems, including but not limited to all real property, lines, towers, tanks, pumps, meters, fixtures, easements, right-of-ways, certificates, and related facilities and equipment to GRU so as to permit GRU to operate the systems and provide utilities service to and for the public for compensation. GRU's petition requests in the statewide rate case to be initiated post-acquisition, the right to place all land and land rights being acquired in rate base, and to earn a just and reasonable return thereon at a valuation equal to the total purchase price paid for the acquired systems. The orders before you find that the general circumstances concerning the state's infrastructure and the specific facts of this case, namely the scalability and centralized operations of various systems under consolidated ownership, justify the adoption of the same policy as outlined in by the Commission in docket 2020 UA 143 and 144. Therefore, the Commission grants Great River's request for an acquisition adjustment similar to the 143 and 144 case to keep the Commission informed of Great River's progress. Great River is being ordered to abide by the following reporting requirements. Great River shall submit a report to the Commission providing information for each system acquired, including discharge quality information, number of service interruptions and employee contractor response times, any violations or citations in the reporting period, list of capital improvement projects underway or completed, including the estimated cost to complete, actual cost incurred to date, and estimated actual completion. Mr. Chairman, based off the evidence in the record, the Commission legal staff recommends approval of the orders as presented.
Okay, any questions?
I move we approve items 2 and 3 together.
Second that.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Now to the administrative agenda. So, let's see. So, number 1, discussion and possible action regarding approval of commission minutes for November 2021 term of the commission.
Move we approve the minutes as presented.
Do I have a
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. So, Ms. Taylor, we're going to take 2 and 3 of this one together?
Yes.
All right. So, discussion and possible action in docket number 2007 UA 442 Horizon Utilities LLC order reopening and referring docket to hearing examiner for investigation show cause hearing. And then number 3, discussion and possible action, docket number 2007 UA 443 Horizon Utilities LLC, order reopening and referring docket to hearing examiner for investigation and show cause hearing. Ms. Taylor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 2007 UA 442 is the water docket, and 2007 UA 443 is the sewer docket. That's why we're taking them up together. But these are basically just, this reopens the CPCN dockets on both of these so that we can open an investigation pursuant to Rule 15.102 of the Public Utility Rules of Practice and Procedure to determine the adequacy of service being provided by this utility in its certificated area. Based on information and belief, this utility is not serving anybody, any customers in the state of Mississippi. So this is to cancel the certificate, but in order to do that under 77-321, we have to have a hearing. So it just assigns it to me so I can have a hearing and we can clean up our books on that particular utility.
Okay, any questions?
I move we approve both items.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. So, number 4, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2021 UA 136 Wildflower Solar LLC order of referral. Mr. Hammonds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a order referral application for an solar generating facility in DeSoto County. This is an order referring it to Commissioner Presley for hearing.
Any questions?
Motion to approve as presented.
I'll second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, number 5, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2021 UA 167 Troy E. Cobb, order referral. Mr. Hammonds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a petition for commission approval of a transfer of stock for Troy E. Cobb doing business Oak Grove Utilities. This is an order referring it to me for hearing.
Move we approve.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Number 6 is discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2021 UN 169 City of Guntown order referral. Mr. Hammonds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a petition for commissioner approval of an adjustment to rates for City of Guntown. This is an order referring it to Commissioner Presley for hearing.
Any questions?
Move to adopt as presented.
Second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, we're going to skip number 7, go on to number 8, discussion and possible action regarding the proposed order in docket number 2021 UN 180 Town of Edwards order referral. Mr. Hammonds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a petition for commission approval of an adjustment to rates for the Town of Edwards. This is an order referring it to Commissioner Bailey for hearing.
Move we approve.
A second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. And number 9, discussion and possible action regarding proposed order in docket number 2021 AD 052, docket to investigate the membership of Entergy Mississippi LLC in the Mid-Continent Independent Transmission Operator. Mr. Hammonds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In April of this year, the commission established a docket to investigate the long-term benefits, cost, and commitments of Entergy Mississippi's membership in MISO. Since that time, there have been several developments in the MISO stakeholder process that have the potential to materially impact the cost and benefits of EML's continued membership in MISO. The commission issued an order requesting additional comments and responses from MISO on October 27th, 2021. MISO submitted those comments on November 24th, 2021. The order before you finds that MISO's comments and responses contain certain deficiencies that the commission will address by way of data request to MISO. After the commission has received and evaluated MISO's responses to the data request that will be sent out, the executive secretary of the commission shall issue a subsequent order outlining future filing deadlines for parties in this docket. So this is just a procedural order to get authorize the commission legal staff to send out some data requests to MISO in this investigative docket.
Any questions?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, number 10, discussion and possible action regarding changing the date of the January 2022 open meeting. Is there any questions?
Move the January open meeting to January the 18th, 2022 at 10 a.m. in this building and issue the appropriate notice.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, finally, we have a hearing on the agenda, so let's take a 10-minute break and then we'll reconvene.